This is a bit off topic, but what do you call those fat gay guys who dress up as women and dance around? What do you call them? You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Not transvestites, but what? Those fat gay guys who put on a lot of makeup and dance around, and then in front of children. It is big thing. By the way, most of the stuff I'm saying right now should be on my political channel, but someone told me I should go on early to get on the line. Drag queens, thank you, drag queens. Drag queens are, I find fascinating the issue of drag queens. Because as a conservative, I find it disgusting. Like, let's be honest, most drag queens are ugly. Well, look, I'll speak for myself. I find most drag queens ugly. I'm sure you can find exceptions. But most, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm ignorant about these things. I think most drag queens are gay men who dress up as women. Am I wrong? Tell me in the live stream chat if I'm wrong. Are drag queens supposed to dress up like women? Is that what they're doing? Is that right? Or is there, yeah, they're queens, right? Queens are women, right? You know how complicated the whole transgender thing is when you have to ask that question? Queens are women? I mean, so drag queens, if I'm right, are gay men who dress up as women. Now look at the way they dress up as women. And so to me, it's a fascinating question as a conservative. Give me a rational argument against drag queens. Here's how I would do it. You could go the icky factor. It's just like, you know, it's sort of like the gun issue. Why should guns be legal? Because I like them. Like that could be your answer. Why shouldn't drag queens be allowed in schools? Because I don't like them. That could be your argument. Okay, fair enough. That actually is not a bad argument. But I think a better argument is because drag queens are misogynistic. What are you saying, Doug? What are you saying? They are not misogynistic. No, look what they're doing. Look at how drag queens view women and the way they dress up. They're basically dressing up like clown women, right? Am I wrong? They look more like clowns than women, but they're like, if a clown was a woman, that's what a drag queen is. To me, this is borderline misogynistic. It's gay men's view of women as these people who need to put on bright red lipstick and huge eyelashes and big hair. Like maybe, okay, let's be fair to the drag queens. Maybe 90s women, 80s women. Drag queens are gorgeous in art. No, most drag queens are fat. Not all. Now, if you find fat attractive, then I guess you be you. But let's, you know, if anybody who's for free speech, I should have the right to say who I find attractive, who I don't. I find drag queens fat and ugly. If drag queens is an exhibition of art, I'm allowed, as a citizen of the United States, to say, I find this art ugly. Okay, but that's not my main argument. My main argument is that, to me, it seems misogynistic, and we don't want to teach misogyny to our children. Point number 2. I think a good argument against drag queens is that, and I wish Jon Stewart would interview me about this. I would have a blast with Jon Stewart, because we both have, I think, similar senses of humor. I would say, okay, Jon Stewart, we want to read books to kids and so forth. Well, who would you rather have? A drag queen reading stories to kids or an astronaut? Who would you rather have? A drag queen reading stories to kids or I don't know, a medical doctor, a surgeon? Why drag queens and not astronauts? And I think the reason why schools even do this in the first place is because they want kids to not hate people who are different. It's about feelings again. They want kids to accept people who dress differently. It's about feelings again. Which is fine, I guess. Oh, Sasha, I said some drag queens are beautiful. Don't get me wrong. You can have one or two. Yeah, exactly. Right, Jerome. It's to promote inclusivity. We need to get people accepted so they feel good. The goal in life is for people, if people hate you and don't accept you, that you can be fine with it. You know you're a good parent when your child can be bullied. Maybe not physically, I draw the line. But your child can be bullied and not accepted, and they still know that, hey, your mom and dad love you. Remember, Auntie Bev, she loves you too. And that these are words from people who don't know you like we know you, and you're just fine. But you know who struggles with this the most is kids, right? Kids struggle with this idea of acceptance and people loving them, that their voice is being heard. It's kids. At some point, adults have to grow up and realize the world is a harsh place and that it is easier, in my opinion, to change yourself before the world around you. So get stronger. Figure out how to do it. Now, to the left, they hate this. I mean, what I am saying is like they're throwing up inside. But they're so poor. I mean, they can't. I mean, you don't. Where's your empathy, right? This is what they're saying to themselves right now in their heads. I think I have seen some of RuPaul's stuff. Or another argument is for the overweight ones, the overweight drag queens. I could make a third argument here. We do not want to promote obesity. It's unhealthy. We don't want our kids to accept this type of lifestyle of gluttony. uh, Doug, what's your biggest kink? What's my biggest kink? I'm boring. Sorry, I don't have kinks. I guess for a lot of people, they would say, like, I was raised with three sisters with all light skin, light hair. So I find it hard to kiss a woman with light skin, light hair. So I have a proclivity, a propensity for dark women, and I married one. Maybe that some people might view that as a kink, but isn't that crazy that that'd be considered a kink? So maybe it's not a kink. Mike B, you, if I had the time and the effort, and if I really cared about you as a person, I would show you videos where I have said exactly this. You can tackle the problem at both ends. There's nothing wrong with tackling the problem at both ends. In fact, I did a live stream on my political channel with Meta Josh. Look up Meta Josh, Pine Creek Politics. I think it was in that live stream. Sure, I'm all for people being nice to other people. Don't get me wrong. But my point is, you're better off teaching your children to not expect that. Don't expect people to be nice to you. And your goal in your life is to become resilient. Don't ask the world to become nicer. Ask yourself to become stronger. But again, not everybody, a lot of people on the left, they hate this rhetoric because it makes them responsible for their own feelings. Somewhat. Pine Creek, are you homosexual? Yes, only on Fridays and Saturdays I'm homosexual, but the other days, I tell you, I am a man. See, even that's going to bother people on the left because they don't have a sense of humor. What? Type 1 if you want Pine Creek to call in. What are you talking about? Where am I supposed to call in? I'm ready to hold here. Oh, the session's ended. Once you go black, there's no going back. And black don't crack. My wife is about my age, and she looks like 20 years younger than her friends. So politically correct, Pine Creek. Well, thank you, Andy Rose. But yeah, the drag queen thing is a very hard issue for conservatives to pinpoint exactly why it's bad, other than they just say it's icky. But you know what? That's not a bad argument for them to make, because I'm sure there's people on the left who are icky about other things, like someone wearing a Trump t-shirt. That's icky to them. Don't allow kids to wear a t-shirt or a MAGA hat. I mean, you're going to offend people. Oh, in fact, that's a great argument. Jon Stewart. There's some schools, I think it's usually been overturned, but there's some schools, at least in a knee-jerk reaction, have told students to take off their MAGA hats in school. Why? What's the argument against it? It's just a hat. They're not even saying they agree with what the MAGA represents. They're just wearing the hat. Maybe they're there to just trigger people. Well, yeah, it works. Take it off. You're making me feel very uncomfortable by wearing a MAGA hat. Okay, if that's a legitimate argument, then why can't, yeah, that drag queens make me very uncomfortable. Why do we care about the uncomfortableness of some people, not others? Why aren't you compassionate towards the conservative who feels icky with the drag queens? Where's your compassion? Well, I'm being inclusive and they're being... Well, with the MAGA hat, are you being inclusive? With the conservatives, the right-winging evil people? No, it's the paradox of my beliefs. Yeah, it's another word for contradictions of your beliefs.